Espresso Talks by Sphere Energy.
Welcome everybody to the first episode, a very special episode of 2026. Today we are not in our standard studio, we are actually at the headquarters of DEKRA in their very amazing video studio, and there is a special reason for that. We have a host here today, Stan Zurkiewicz, the CEO of DEKRA. And for those of you who don't know, DEKRA is since last year a shareholder of Sphere, and we are very, very happy to be part of the DEKRA family. And Stan, maybe you can introduce yourself real quick and say a couple of words about DEKRA for those of you who don't know DEKRA yet.
So thank you, Lucas. And we are indeed proud shareholders now in Sphere Energy. So for those of you who don't know DEKRA too well, we are one of the largest testing, inspection and certification organizations in the world. We employ about 50,000 people across 60 different countries. And we are the undisputed leader when it comes to those independent testing services for the automotive industry. So every year we test, inspect and certify around 30 million vehicles, which is roughly double the number of our closest competitors. So indeed, a leading player in the area of testing, inspection, certification of automotive industry, and also diversified across a number of other verticals. We are dedicated to safety, security, and sustainability. So we are an organization driven by this very, very strong purpose of making the world a safer and more sustainable place.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for the intro, Stan. And obviously, thank you so much for hosting us in this wonderful studio. Yeah, I mean, the markets that you're serving as DEKRA, they are going through some profound transformations, rapidly changing, right? And I would be really interested in your take on, the pressing points, the pain points of your customers that are driving these needs for transformation, and what this means for the TIC market in general.
That's correct. So our largest customer segment by far is the automotive industry. And of course, Luca, as you pointed out, automotive industry is going through a huge transformation. It starts, of course, with the powertrain. The shift from combustion engine towards, I would say, sustainable mobility. Big part of it, of course, being electric, but also in commercial vehicles, we see some other applications, like for example, hydrogen. But the shift towards automated, or in the future, autonomous mobility, we see that vehicles are increasingly taking over the role of the driver, we can say. The software is playing an increasing role. We are now talking about software-defined vehicles, and that's also a very, very large transformation for the traditional automakers whose mechanical expertise has been the core competence. And of course, the global market is changing as well. We see emergence of new competitors coming from markets such as China is one of the examples, of course. As the technology shifts, that opens avenues for new entrants into the market. So the competitive landscape is also being reshaped. And of course, if we look at trade, the various, I would say, dislocations when it comes to trade are also impacting our customers in a very, very profound way. So automotive industry is in flux, is in the process of transformation.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And in your opinion, you mentioned the software aspect of these transformations, or let's say one of the tools or methodologies maybe to drive these transformations. What's your take on the role of data and AI in making sure that those transformations actually lead to business value?
So I would say that these aspects today are decisive, and not only in the automotive industry. AI will be probably one of the most transformative technologies. And if we look at the magnitudes of the investments which are being made in AI itself, in data centers, we're talking about not only hundreds of billions, we talk about trillions of dollars being invested in this technology. So we can see that the financial markets are making a huge bet that this will be a technology that will transform the industry. It will transform our lives, and it's transforming automotive industry as well. If we look at automated or autonomous cars, AI is at the core of that technological shift.
I agree.
Absolutely. And I think not only the financial markets are making a bet, I think DEKRA and Sphere are making a bet there as well, right? I mean, we truly believe that these technologies are game-changing for not only for our clients, but also for our business, right? We see that as an example, in the validation phase of an electric car, where we have the battery obviously as one of the key components, AI and especially the management of large data volumes is essential to be fast, to be innovative, and to drive the process to the inspection and then later on to the SOP process in a very efficient and fast manner. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the partnership of Sphere and DEKRA and what you envision there and how we can, with this partnership, change also the offering towards our clients.
So Lucas, absolutely. I mean, So first of all, about the changes of the testing and certification industry. So I would say that it's an industry that, you know, has many decades or even over a century of history and heritage. I mean, we as DEKRA, we've been very proud to celebrate our 100th anniversary in the summer of this year. But this industry has been, I would say, relatively slow changing. Partly because a very significant proportion of what we do is regulatory work. And the regulators, the organizations that give us the license to operate, they oftentimes prescribe not only what needs to be verified, but also the method, how it has to be verified, how it has to be changed. But we see that the accreditation organizations and the authorities are beginning to open up to new approaches and new technologies. We see the emergence of what we call the digital quality infrastructure with accreditors, with standardization development organizations, with metrology organizations, and with conformity assessment bodies and testing and certification organizations like ourselves, transforming the way that we operate. And this is exactly where our partnership comes into place. So part of what you do is simulation, and we see a gradual shift when the physical testing that we as DEKRA and companies similar to ourselves have been doing for decades or even for centuries is being gradually supplemented with simulation, which offers multiple advantages to the customer. So this is really at the core of the partnership that we are building together.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Stan. And I think one super interesting aspect for us is obviously, as you said, the regulatory bodies are changing, and having somebody like DEKRA on board on our journey who has this access to these bodies and defines how new regulations are being done in the future. I think this is for us amazing, right? To have such a partner and to build together this, I think your colleagues call it the smarter, faster, trusted, right? Where we have new innovative technologies to make our clients more innovative, faster, smarter, but also have this trusted aspect, especially in the age of AI, right?
100%.
Where AI is really a game changer, but at the same time, we need to make sure it's safe, right? We need to make sure it can be trusted, and with somebody like DEKRA on our side, we're super excited to enter into this trusted age of AI for our clients.
That makes so much sense. And yeah, as you referred to our simulation models, right? I think we found in DEKRA a really strong partner to scale our AI simulation models and to really drive business value, right? I think this is always the ultimate goal, to make these traditional industries faster, to make them more efficient, through simulation and these new generation AI models. But, you know, driving ROI with AI, as you've seen in other fields, is not easy, right? And it requires a lot of legwork. And when we talk about legwork as part of what we do and how we serve our clients, we always speak about 3 pillars, right? The first pillar is that we believe we need to create trustworthy and reliable data pipelines. Now that's nothing new, right? We've been speaking about data quality, data management already since the early 2000s, I would say. But what is new is that this new generation of models, this new generation of AI models, they not only require, right, this large amount of data to be trained with, but also can deal with a lot of data complexity, different data modalities, right? So we finally found an approach with these models to leverage this historic data that sits somewhere in unstructured folders that no one really cares about or not even know that they exist, right? Those valuable data points. And we have to leverage these data points to feed those data pipelines and fine-tune our models. And the second pillar then is obviously the modeling layer, the intelligence layer.
Correct.
And we have been working hard on developing own proprietary AI models in the realm of engineering, but simulation is not new, right? In the automotive sector or in the engineering sector. And these physics-based models, these mathematical models, simulation models, they are always going to be valuable, right? We don't want to replace them with data-driven models, right? I think it's always going to be a complementary
That's
approach
absolutely true, yes.
between data-driven AI models and more physics-based mathematical models. And I think we need to create this intelligence layer within these big corporations to make use of the best of both worlds, right? And the last pillar then is selecting the right model for the right use case and integrating it in the workflow. It's easier said than done, right? Because I'm sure you know, Stan, that these tool chains, these simulation tool chains with those traditional corporations are very scattered and fragmented. And we really believe that these new models offer an opportunity in harmonizing this tool chain, right? I truly believe that in 5 years from now, Stan, we won't have this system of record layer in the simulation architecture anymore. It will be completely replaced, at least in our opinion, with this modeling layer that I introduced earlier. And then for every individual use case, for every individual workflow, we have a specific front end that makes use of this modeling layer. So a completely new way of setting up architectures.
And maybe to make it a little bit more tangible and concrete, Stan, maybe you can talk a little bit about Klettwitz, about the most advanced battery technology center that is being built right now in Europe for module and packs, right, in the automotive space. And there, together with your teams, we're working heavily on making this not only the most advanced, but also the most innovative and digital test center in the world, right? And maybe you can share some insights there.
That's absolutely the case. And we've been active in testing of batteries for years. And in fact, we are one of the leading players in testing of the cells, modules, and battery packs. We are now investing heavily, as you mentioned, Lucas, in building one of the most advanced testing centers for electrical vehicle batteries, but also batteries used in ESS, in energy storage systems, in Klettwitz at Lausitzring. Lausitzring has been our technology center for a couple of decades, and it's also a place where we test autonomous driving vehicles. In fact, it's Europe's or perhaps even world's largest autonomous driving vehicle testing center, independent testing center. Part of our partnership is indeed leveraging our state-of-the-art physical infrastructure and the simulation and AI capabilities that Sphere Energy brings into the equation, and offering those integrated, cutting-edge value propositions to the market. And of course, we have already seen from some of the leading OEMs, leading battery manufacturers, the response to the value proposition that we are able to offer, and that response has been absolutely incredible. So yeah, I mean, I think that we are onto something which is really, really exciting, and I'm looking forward to continuing on that journey together with you guys.
Amazing. And I think also what is very interesting is that the battery really changed these products, right? They are not only mechanical anymore. They have their own life, as we always say. And now it becomes very important to understand the validation cycle. So this classical V-shape, the traditional V-shape, becomes more into a circle where they have to develop very integrated, very connected, but then also the car has a life afterwards, right? And I know that DEKRA is one of the leading managers of these fleets, right, of rental cars, of rental returns. And this is obviously a huge business that we don't have always on our radar, but somebody needs to manage these cars and understand the residual value. And especially when you have an electric car where the battery is really, really an expensive part, several thousand euros expensive, you need to understand the state of health of the battery. And I think DEKRA is advancing there with great speed. Maybe you can share some insights there.
Absolutely. So if we look at the EV market, we see that the market for used electrical vehicles is really not functioning or is not functioning properly. We see that there are thousands upon thousands of used EVs stuck in the dealer rooms and nobody wants to buy them. And why nobody wants to buy them? Because there is no transparency when it comes to the state of health of the EV battery. And as you pointed out, I mean, the battery itself accounts for 30-40% of the vehicle value. So there is a role for independent third parties such as DEKRA to provide that transparency. And we've been developing technologies over a number of years. And now we are, I would say, cutting-edge, state-of-the-art technology that allows us in a very short period of time to measure very accurately the state of health of those EV batteries and provide the necessary transparency that will enable proper functioning of the used car market. So when we talk about when you talk about EV adoption more broadly, in order to accelerate the EV adoption, we have to ensure that there is a well-functioning used car market. And here, of course, our EV battery state of health solution comes into place. And of course, we are hoping to further build and augment that solution using the technology that Sphere Energy is able to offer.
And I think the slogan that I think Lucas revealed it, I'm not sure if you've heard it, but I'm sure the marketing team will allow us that the smarter, faster, trusted is kind of the slogan of our partnership. And I think this covers this use case perfectly. Right, we need to be smarter, faster in understanding the value, the health of our batteries. But I think the trusted part there is absolutely crucial.
And we as DEKRA, we've been operating at this intersection of trust, safety, and technology for decades. And I think that our position as independent third party also is a very important asset that gives the stakeholders, whether these are authorities or the customers, the confidence that the assessments and the judgments that DEKRA provides is indeed something that the stakeholders can rely on and can trust.
Agreed.
Amazing. Yeah, Stan, thanks so much. I think this summarizes very much our partnership, right? Smarter, faster, and trusted, bringing new technology to the market, but in a trusted fashion. We're super happy to be part of the DEKRA family now. Thanks for having us here today. And we're looking much forward to bring very, very high cutting-edge solutions and value propositions together with you to the market.
Likewise, I'm delighted that we have established this partnership and it can only grow. So I'm very much looking forward to taking next steps together.
Let's do it. That's
together with Sphere Energy.
Thanks so much, Stan. Maybe as a little teaser for the audience, in a couple of weeks, the World Economic Forum in Davos will take place. And we're more than happy to announce that DEKRA is now co-hosting our event at the WEF. We will invite a very exclusive frame of people and executives from the German and European industry to really talk about in different panel sessions about three topics that are very important for us. One, obviously, quantum and AI. This is the technology that will change our lives. We will have high-level speakers there and discuss about how quantum and AI will change our industry. The second topic we will discuss is energy. Obviously, energy is everything is our sub-slogan, and we truly believe in that. We have to figure out how we, in a sustainable way, supply the energy of all these new technologies, being it cars or mobility or AI. And the third pillar is the German economy, where we will have high-class people from the finance, from the economic sector, but also from the industry to discuss how we can become again the leading player in the European economics. So thanks so much. We're looking forward and see you in Davos soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Stan,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.